and welcome back to Witchlight. Here we go. Right, basically, they've just run away from Scabatha Nightshade after stealing 10 of her workers, these children, after destroying her place, nicking some shit off her, and I mean a lot of shit. They've stole some shit off Scabatha Nightshade. And they've run away, saving everyone except one person. One hero who held that door. Will of the Feywild. The circumstances surrounding his death are a bit strange. In fact, he turned into an Oni as he was getting hit, which is a bit of a strange thing that no one had a clue about. But anyway, everyone's scarpered. Aerith nearly died, but it's alright because Archie went in there and saved her. And they're all, with all the kids, they've got the owlbear and the carriage, which Holland's got. All the kids on the back of that. They're travelling through the dark night forest back towards Little Oak. They're all a bit blue, especially Aerith, who's transformed into Winter Eladrin at the news of Will's death. And Flopsy looks like he's been through a hedge backwards 1,000 times. You're all knackered. You're all relieved that you saved all these kids, but you can't help but think about poor Will.
Yeah. As they're riding towards, Little Oak, Aerith's hair, which has crystalline snowflakes in it, and her eyes are droopy, and she has a very somber look on her face, and doesn't really say anything at all. She's dragging Archie.
Dragging her?
Well, if you recall, you were only one of us could fit on the horse, so you were hanging by a rope at the bottom.
I don't think you need to do that now because you don't have to fly on the horse, you can all just walk.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's blue, snowflake, melancholy. Yeah.
I think Archie's riding on the horse and sort of a bit lagging behind. She probably said, "Oh, I'm just gonna go check the back, make sure no one's following us or whatever." Just sort of lags behind, keeping up, but behind all the kids, I guess.
Flopsy would have initially tried to give up his seat on the owlbear's carriage to one of the kids, but exhaustion's kind of setting in. He really isn't looking that good, so he's had to take a sit down. He's kind of slumped, but the kids that can fit around him, he's kind of nestled them in to fit as many as possible, and he's just kind of telling them that there was a very special person who made all of this possible, and his name was Will, and he's going to carry on telling the story of Will of the Feywild as much as he knows it to the kids.
Yeah, so during the story the kids are sort of smiling and nodding along, and some of them are crying. Mishka cries the hardest out of all of them, and she sort of nods along to the things you say as though she knew him.
Flopsy's going to get to near the end of the story, saying about Will nearly dying at the hands of Scabatha. I don't think he's going to end it with Will dying. I think he's not going to tell the kids that he's dead yet.
Okay.
He's not going to say about the ultimate sacrifice.
Okay.
He's gonna where's the members of the getaway gang? Are they walking nearby?
Yeah, they're walking all together. I think with the prevailing mood, everyone's aware because he's not with them. So everyone knows, really, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They just look fearful, a bit lost, and kind of a bit unsure about themselves, as though one of them might have to be him next.
Aerith is probably hanging back near Archie just because of her whole mindset about the trying to let the children see winter as less as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably looks over to Archie with that, like,
Archie's
with
crying.
that.
Mm.
She says, "You probably blame me, don't you?"
Archie, looks over at Aerith. Archie wasn't even aware that Aerith is there. Like, she's fully not looking. And then turns to Aerith and just sort of wipes her eye a bit. But what? No?
It didn't really matter either way, but I was there. And maybe I could have done something. But I didn't. He's gone. Such is the way of life, unfortunately. I wouldn't really blame you if you thought it was my fault.
It's not your fault, Aerith, and you don't need to blame yourself. There doesn't need to be someone to blame for this, other than Skabatha, who is to blame for this.
I think that blame is irrelevant.
Well,
think
you're
the
the one talking
situation-
about it.
I was merely inquiring upon your thoughts. But at the end of the day, fate played out how it was meant to. I guess that is the only thing that really matters.
She sort of looks at Aerith with this like she's really not appreciating what you're saying. And she just sort of moves Eladrin a little bit further away from Aerith and continues crying.
Mm.
And Aerith grows silent and doesn't really say anything else and kind of just stares off.
What's Holland doing as he's sat with the reins of the owlbear, Ooglay?
I think he's probably got like children clamoring around him, being like, "Ooh, Albert!" Imagine he's like, just kind of making up stories, like, oh, you know that this can fly if you feed it a very specific kind of berry from hither. As he like practices his little creative storytelling. But every so often he turns around and catches Flopsy's eye, and it looks like he wants to talk to him so badly, but knows he can't because of the kids being there. Just
When
sort of
you
looks
turn-
back from his eye.
When you turn to see Flopsy, his eyes are mostly shut most of the time, but he is smiling to himself. It's almost as if your stories are doing more for him than they are the kids, and he's kind of having a little rest on the way back.
Blessed him.
The tree line parts to reveal this very, very tall tree. Very tall and wide, with sort of long arms coming off of it now. You didn't really recognise that it had arms before, and you didn't even recognise that it could sort of look as though it's standing up on its roots. But it seems to be sort of like standing slowly, resting on one leg and the other, as though it's anxious or like needs a wee or something. And you make your way up to it, and you recognise as the branches sort of part from your vision, you see all the little tree-housey things up in its branches, the swings dangling off it and everything. You can see there's a face that's emerged in the trunk itself, and it looks to be wincing in some way, and its arms reach up like it's trying to scratch its head as though it's got fleas. And it sees you approach and sort of kneels down, attached to its knee, are sort of like little rope ladders and things that fall perfectly down for you to climb up it. And you get to Little Oak. You're all in the bottom corner, I think. There you go. And you can park Ooglay up down there where he was before. There we go.
Gotta get winter Aerith in there.
Oh yeah. Oop, bap. I'll just sort your sizing out. There we go. And... oop. Okay.
Flopsy lets the others up first. It's probably going to take me a little while to get up, so I don't want to slow any of you down.
Aerith doesn't really say anything. They don't change expression. They don't do anything. They just hold out a hand.
Bobby, Sloan, and Zeno are the three original getaway gangs. They just sort of climb up the tree really, really sadly, and they just individually go off into their own bedrooms. And shut the doors. The rest of the kids look kind of like nervous, because they don't really know where they're going to sleep. They look awkward, as if they shouldn't be there, or like they might be trespassing in some way, because this is, after all, the great getaway gang's, home. They don't seem to have been very, what's the word? Gracious hosts, as they've just gone in their sad attitudes.
Holland will vault off the car and start helping the kids off, kind of thing. Be like, "Okay, guys, we're gonna climb up this tree, and I know it looks really tall, but it's much easier than it looks. So, let's step to it. The first one up there wins bragging rights, I guess."
Give us a persuasion with advantage.
11.
A lot of them sort of just look at each other, and some of them are smirking and actually whispering to each other and pointing at you, but in a kind of disgusted way. This one is just staring at you. She'll do anything you say. She's nodding really enthusiastically, and she turns around and sort of tells them all to listen to you, and they kind of do, and follow her up the tree. Oh god, I can't get them all without getting the fucking owlbear. Here we go. Hey, whatever.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aerith holds out a hand to Flopsy. Doesn't change expression. Aerith's also on 1 HP, but it doesn't really matter.
Holland, when you get up there, you see Clapperclaw's just sort of wandering around, and under his feet are these little like sting marks on the tree, like little burn marks, and he seems to like have not remembered what he's doing. Oh hi! Oh Holland, you're back.
Yeah, Holland.
Yay!
Yeah, Holland's gonna run up to him. They just bang heads or something.
Aw.
Double back to
Aw.
him. Holland's gonna scoop him up in a big hug. So
Ah.
he's off the ground, but he's also in a big hug.
I knew you'd come back real fast. I just knew it. I you know.
I missed you so much. It was so like, bleh, you know? And I was like, oh, I want to see Clapperclaw again already.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
I wanna
exactly
see
what
that
I was thinking when I was in here walking around. I tried to play with Star for a little bit, but you know, he likes to sleep a lot. So, but yeah, I mean, I've just been waiting around for you, pacing up and down, and did you bring me back some ham?
You read my mind. Well, I did bring back ham, but like just a fair warning, it might turn you into a butterfly or like make you small or something.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, I'd love to be turned into something different. That'd be cool, right? Forever?
For an hour.
That's even cooler.
Well, here you go.
While he's
Produces
having a bite, yeah. While he's having a bite of that, Andrew, what did you want to say?
Oh, if Aerith is giving Flopsy a hand, he's graciously going to take that. On the way up, he'll prestidigitate himself, so he still looks rough, but not bloodied or anything like that, or bruised.
Mm-hmm.
So his fur is going to kind of be... He's like a big fluffy marshmallow at this point. He's going to kind of plop down when he gets up.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's like faltering and about to flop down, he's going to raise his paws up to his mouth and cough. And then he's going to open his hands up, and when he coughs, he's going to cough out confetti towards the kids. And then he's going to stand up even straighter and shake himself. Well, this house doesn't really look homely, does it? We can change that. I'm going to prestidigitate warm lights around the area here. Just so that it's kind of cozy. If I can also break the things with prestidigitation, I'm just going to try and warm the general area. I know it's an item, but I'm just going to try and make these kids just a little bit more at home.
Yeah, it's almost like a sledgehammer just hits them, like when kids get knackered immediately, that they're absolutely tired. Like they all just start yawning, and like sort of mosey their way over to this table and sit around it. Some of them sort of slump their heads over the table, to sort of like in their arms to get comfy. Except this one, who is staring directly at Holland in absolute shock and awe. And as she looks over there, Holland produces this ham for Clapperclaw. Clapperclaw takes it and is like, "Oh wow! I knew you'd get me something juicy, but this is just And he takes a bite out of it and he starts chewing on it like nom, 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 with his little skull teeth. And with every bite, his head like goes like, what? Bigger? What? Bigger? What? Even bigger? And it like his antlers shake like suddenly, and he like tilts backwards like, "Ah!" And his antlers stick into the ground. As his head is twice its size, which is already quite large. And he starts just laughing on his back. It's like, he don't let the ham touch the floor though.
Of course.
Yeah, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I can still keep eating this while my head's big." And he's just like taking the biggest bites of ham that you've ever seen.
Well, let's try and get you stepped back up. Come on, give me your claw. Holland's gonna try and pull him up.
All right, take my non-ham claw though. He brings himself
The non-ham claw.
Are you gonna... Is it the same thing for you? And he looks closer at you, is like... Because you were wearing the cloak, weren't you? The tea towel. What were you wearing?
I'm wearing a tablecloth.
A tablecloth. And it's like, well, you can't eat it if you've got a cloth over your face. And he's like thrusting it out towards you.
I'm just gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to put it like under the cloth and then eat it from the inside.
All right. What? Why are you wearing a cloth anyways? Like, is this some sort of game?
Well, while I was there, some weird stuff was happening, and then I lost all my hair, kind of.
You just feel this immediate laughter from him, and he's like, "What, like forever, or just like this for like 1 hour?"
I don't know. I mean, it's been longer than an hour, and I still don't have any hair. So like, I don't know.
What are you gonna do? He's just gonna sort of like chat with you about what you're gonna do about your hair for a bit. Archie, what are you up to? Patron muted. I'm guessing Archie's not here for now.
Peach has messaged not here right now.
Alright, okay. Flopsy, what are you up to? Flopsy and Aerith. Yeah.
Oh, Flopsy was going to go up to Holland if Aerith wants to join. Or is Aerith feeling loner vibes right now?
I mean, Aerith doesn't care one way or another. Aerith will...
Yeah, actually.
I guess.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. She'll just...
She's just there. She's just there looking depressed.
Okay. You lost all your hair, Holland. Did I hear that right?
What? You can't tell anyone.
Oh, I promise I won't tell anyone, but if you carry on wearing a tablecloth, I'm sure people will start asking questions.
Well, I guess this is just my life now. Tablecloth Holland, as they'll call me.
I don't think anybody's going to call you that. Besides, you've come to the right person, even though I came to you. I'm sure there's a way that I can style this out.
Oh, really?
You know how fashionable Flopsy is, and you can take as much confidence from that as you can. Yes, if we... right now, it's just like you're an amorphous blob of fabric, but if we try and shape it around your ears and maybe fit it tighter around here, then I'm sure it'll look just like clothing and would still cover the hairlessness.
Oh, so I'll be like Harengon made of fabric.
I suppose you'll just look like a Harengon with a very tight fashion sense, which I'm sure you'd be able to pull off.
Yeah, could show off my muscles.
Speaking of showing off, you still have something I gave you, don't you? He motions to his mouth of toot toot.
Oh, I sure do. I ain't tooted it yet, but it's here in my pocket.
Well, I didn't want to. I don't want to spoil any surprises that may have happened, but I'm sure Clapperclaw would want to learn a few things of what happened.
Hey, Clapperclaw, watch this. And Helen's gonna have to put the pamphlet under his thing again. And just go, woo.
What does that mean?
He'll like fucking toot out what does that mean? But like with a, like mimicking the toads.
Uh-huh. He's like, it's tilting his head and it tilts downwards and sticks into the ground like sideways. And he's like, oh, can you make a song about about how it feels to eat this ham?
Well, I can try. Let me see. He like takes a deep breath and then just blows on all of them at once.
Wow. He's just nodding and chomping on the ham. He's very impressed. Bless.
I can do stuff now, like play this and imagine anything. It doesn't need to be stuff I've already seen. I can imagine you with pink claws.
Really? Can you paint them pink for me?
Yeah. I could do that too. I could make it a reality.
Wow. Did you get some magic powers or something from Scabathus?
No, I got my own creativity back because it was gone. It was gone. And
Oh!
So, yes, you
now
did
it's
hit
here.
the nail on the head, Clapperclaw. Holland did find a superpower.
Ah, that's so cool. I mean, not that you need one, but he's so happy. He's just chewing on that ham, having a grand time. But meanwhile, Archie, what are you doing?
Oh gosh. I guess Archie's she's made her way over to I don't know, to this okay. She's made herself over to this ladder over here.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's like a ladder that's just flat across, like it appears on the map.
Yes. No, sorry. It goes up to those branches up there.
Okay. What's the highest point of the tree? Is this the highest point?
I'd
of the
say
tree?
these bushes are, like here. Like this beacon of light.
Archie's gonna make her way over here. And
Okay.
She's just gonna sit with her legs hanging off of the tree, and she's just gonna look out into the distance and just sob really loudly. It's like ugly crying.
Did you keep Eladrin with you, or did you leave him down there?
Yeah, she's got Eladrin there.
Alright. Eladrin's wide eyes just sort of look at you. He can't blink or anything either, and it's always wide, so it looks like he's got a really awkward expression on his face. He's just sort of staring at you. And as you're sort of the rider, he can talk to you. So he's like, are you okay?
Nah. Sorry, Eladrin. I forgot you were here.
Well, I
Yeah,
am
I'm
here.
I'm
Not
fine.
that you can't cry. You can always cry. Crying's great. It makes you feel better. And he's got a sadness to his voice, but you can't see any tears coming out of his eyes because it's like doll eyes. But his one real eye, he's got that little peeping eye. You know what I mean? It doesn't blink. He can't blink. He I can't express things with an eye. That don't work properly. But yeah, you can't see any change of his expression except that you can hear he's probably crying too.
Aw, Paladin, what's the matter?
My horn. And you're looking. His eye moves up to the hole in his forehead.
Yeah, we gotta get you that back. And maybe if we get you that horn back and plop it right where it should be, maybe you can run around again.
Maybe I can see Lamorna again.
Oh, maybe we can bring you to Lamorna
No!
on the way to...
I can't let
No?
her see me like this.
Oh,
I'm supposed to be elegant and beautiful. A great celestial being. Now look at me.
well... I don't know, I think you're a lot more beautiful since like I sat on you. I mean, like all of that cobwebs and dust is off of you. Um, I think we're gonna find a way to get you back to how you used to be, and then you can see Lamorna again.
Okay.
I promise.
Well, what are you sad about?
Will he like died?
Hmm. His eye looks away into the far off distance. And you guys, Flopsy, Holland. Well, Flopsy and Holland are still talking. You can. Are you trying to remain hidden, Archie?
Not really. Like
Yeah.
Archie never tries to hide. She's just like aware.
Yeah, you've Flopsy and Aerith. Considering you're in that, looking in that direction, I suppose. You did see like the little green sort of silhouette of Archie jump up into that tree with Eladrin following. But yeah, you sort of stood outside of these rooms, just chatting.
While Flopsy is talking to Holland, Aerith pats him on the shoulder and makes her way over to Archie. Uh, Openly making noise so as not to like sneak up on Archie because that he doesn't really care, to be honest, but
Mm.
it doesn't matter. Hey,
Oh, hi, Eric.
um, no, here. Aerith pulls out this scarf that Holland gave her. This was Holland's, and it filled me with warmth when they gave it to me.
I think I gave you that.
You gave me this.
Yeah.
Oh, would you like it back?
I suppose I'm here. Have this, and I hand you like loads of stray cutlery from different sets.
Straight what?
Like loads of
Cutlery,
cutlery. Yeah.
Oh,
knives and forks and spoons.
how lovely. Always wanted more forks, knives, and spoons. Thank you.
Actually, looks out into the distance.
I surmise I may have offended you with my earlier statement. Hope you don't blame yourself, Archie. There was nothing you could have done.
I. Why would I be to blame?
Well, as unlogical as it is, in these types of situations, even if somebody didn't do anything wrong, they tend to blame themselves. I
I
was
know.
just hoping
That's.
you didn't.
I think I was in the wrong place. But I mean, I was in the right place for helping Flopsy. So
Well, from what I see, Flopsy was in an awful condition. So I say you did something right. Fortunately, we didn't all make it out of there. Even though these kinds of things are irrelevant when it
what?
comes to, I said, even though these things are irrelevant in some situations because
What do you
death.
mean?
I was just going to say I'm sorry for your loss.
These kind of things are irrelevant? What does that mean?
I more so meant that apologies don't usually take away the pain that people feel. Wasn't saying that Will's passing was irrelevant. I would never say something like that. I knew him too, you know.
Yeah.
He brought me a lot of children. He was a work colleague, I guess you could say.
It was more than that for me.
I know.
Meanwhile, Papa Claw's sleepily hanging this ham out of his mouth, and he's just gonna like curl up on these little stairs here like a dog, with his giant head resting like he's on his own pillow. Flopsy and Holland, you're kind of on your own as these kids are all getting tired as well, sort of slouching over this this table. The 14-year-old Harengon girl is sort of like aiming her face towards Holland as she's like falling asleep. But it kind of looks like she's trying to hide that she's looking.
Flopsy's going to look out at the kids going to sleep and clap her claw and put his hand on Holland's shoulder. You did a lot of good today, Holland. I just wanted to say that I'm proud of you.
Oh, thanks. I don't feel particularly proud of myself, but
Why ever not? This is a victory. Look at everyone we managed to get out. This is a day that should be celebrated. After I've had a bit of sleep, I think we can do some of that.
it's just kind of hard when I can't stop, like, also seeing the people that I didn't get out. Will and Aerith. I mean, thank goodness she's okay, because I could do anything.
Holland, you're not blaming yourself, are you? You did absolutely nothing wrong. If it weren't for Archie, I would still be, well, either on the top of Loomlurch or underneath Loomlurch or just off to the side. There were many opportunities for me to be left behind. I needed Archie there, and thankfully she was. So did Aerith. Things just worked out that way, and you can look at that table over there to see all of the people that needed you there. It's not your fault if
also
one
needed
person...
me there. I miscalculated or something, did the wrong thing, and I couldn't get back to him in time, and he exploded.
Holland, I know 2 different spells that can give people life back and more energy, and do you know how many of those I used to help our friends today?
How many?
None. I wasn't in the right place at any of the right times. But it wasn't my fault. I did what I could to help the people around me. We have all of those children out of Scabatha's claws and safe. We have all of us back. I can't go blaming myself that I wasn't more helpful. If I was in the room with Will, maybe I could have done something, but unfortunately, I wasn't. And unfortunately, there was nothing else you could have done. No, I don't want to sound callous when I say it, but Will knew the risks when he went in. And if he could see the results, I'm sure he'd agree with me when I say it's something to be celebrated more than mourned.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true. But there is something else that you should, probably know that I didn't really understand, but you might. I don't know. Right before Will died, he was different. I like.
I can't imagine what it must have been like for you to see somebody going through that, Holland, but I don't want you dwelling on the image of his last moments.
No, he was like. Well, I bit him to try and save him because I thought, if he's a kid, he'll go away. He'll get banned. But then he didn't go anywhere, even though he was like, ow. And then he grew really big, and he was all like snarly and beefy.
Snarly and beefy.
Yeah, he was like Will if he was like an owlbear or something, just without like feathers.
Did anybody else know that Will wasn't a child?
I didn't even know myself. Maybe Archie knew.
I do wish he had made it out, obviously, and we'd be able to dig deeper into it, but I feel knowing that just makes him more of a better person, in my estimation. I mean, I don't have to explain to you that I thought he was a bit of a, before we set off.
Yeah. Well, I won't speak ill of the dead or anything, but he was pretty. You fill in the blank, and you know, uh, it's like there's obvious he was like something else, but I mean, he died taking shots at Scabatha, so he's good in my books.
Well, I thought he was just a headstrong little child, and that's why he was immature, but to not even be a child and to sacrifice himself for all of these. Well, he was a good man. Or whatever snarly beefy thing he was. When I was telling the children about him before, the way I see it is we shouldn't dwell on the sadness of him not being here, but I want the children to remember the important things that he did. And I didn't really know how to finish the story. Do you think that everybody needs to know that he's dead?
I think so. I mean, I think he deserves to get his heroic ending. I mean, the alternative is that that Scabatha's being tortured, so.
Well, I know the power of a story, and I was just thinking of the idea of continuing to tell it, and if his name spread through hither, thither, even yon, maybe, he would be somewhat of a hopeful figure. I don't know if it would work since he is dead, but I just thought it would have been nice for him to live on in some fashion.
Like a mystery.
Yes, I mean, he was, wasn't he? We don't even know what he really was. I mean, I do appreciate a good name. He called himself Will of the Feywild, as if he had some sort of claim over the place. I think it's fitting that the Feywild claims him back. We could create a fable out of him so he is always remembered.
I like that. You always have the best ideas.
Well, I want you to promise me that you won't blame yourself for him not making it out then. We're going to be the ones to carry him on. I'm going to look back at Holland's face and just reiterate what I said before. You did a lot of good today, and I'm very proud of you.
Oh, Holland's gonna suddenly move in for a big hug. I'm glad you're okay. I didn't see you the entire time. I was really worried.
Well, at first I was trying to find you, and I think I went the complete wrong way because I couldn't find you at all.
I was jumping all over the place because that dragon kept biting me.
Oh, he bit me as well, yes. It was the dragon, the snakes, the redcaps. I'm pretty sure I saw everything apart from Scabatha, to be honest.
Oh dear.
Did you not see the snakes?
No, I just saw Scabatha.
Oh, I barely saw her, so... I suppose we're a good team then, taking it from both angles.
We really covered all the ground. And Archie covered the air. And Aerith was with me for most of it. I was kind of hoping you would be there too, but we were all doing our fight thing.
I did feel as if I should have been more close to you for pretty much all of it. I was worried as I was running around. I'm glad you're safe. Flopsy's going to do a dad stretch and his back's going to crack.
Alright. And you all find somewhere cosy to curl up for the night on Little Oak. As Little Oak sort of rests and sinks its roots into the ground. And you can hear a sort of deep trembling snore coming from the centre of its trunk. And you all take your long rests. And you all mark the day that it is for the curse. Lauren, which day is it? This is day 5, isn't it?
Hang on, I've got to scroll up because we've been on the same day for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it is.
Okay. And you'll wake up. You'll wake all those kids up. And shall we do you're on your merry way to Zabilna's Home of the Lost? To drop these kids off, is that the plan?
Sounds good.
Alright. I'm gonna copy and paste all these bloody kids. As you're sort of leaving, the getaway gang shuffle along with you. All the kids are the same size, by the way, it's just that I'm not going to change all the sizes of them, it's just because they've come from that map. And they're all going to come with you. And as sort of they're trailing behind you all, I presume you're taking the carriage. Little Oak sort of looks up in the distance and looks a bit confused as to why everyone's leaving him. And he pulls his long leg out of the ground, trembles as he lifts his leg out. And in this conveyor belt of an owlbear, Holland, Flopsy, Aerith, Archie, floating along on Eladrin, all these 10, 13 kids, Clapperclaw on the back, waving with his ham, Star on Holland's knee. You followed by this gigantic tree as it booms all the way through the forest behind you. And you make your way to... Doobie-doobie-da-boop-ba-doop-boo. Where is it? Whee!
Did we sleep at the orphanage? Sorry.
No. Oh, it's
Then
day
it's
4 then.
actually day 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That immediately just clicked in my head then when you said that. Okay. Huge large map. Vince sort of the forest, you've been sort of twirling around in there for a while. You've seen, you know, a few little like odd, strange little things happening and like little, you know, creatures here and there, but nothing too disruptive. And you spot the Eladrin Vint standing at the sort of gateway to a bush that's sort of arched. He solemnly gives you all a nod, and then he tilts his head to look behind you in the carriage at all of the kids, and he just sighs. He moves his hand out the way, seeing you, Aerith. He looks a bit startled. And he says, "What's happened?"
Not here. Get the kids inside.
He watches you as though to make sure you don't enter too. Not in like an authoritative way, just like in a equal sense. He knows where you're at right now, emotionally. And you all drop the kids off. Bam, there they all go. The rest of the kids who are just sort of like playing around in random locations, sort of stop running and midway through tag or whatever the fuck they're doing, and they all turn around and look really confused as this crowd of children all walk in, and fucking Novak literally like jumps into action as soon as he spots Bobby, Sloan, and Zeno. He looks really excited, and then he's like looking around for like, oh, like where's Will, sort of thing. And Kellen's just sort of like, stop it. The Eladrins sort of greet them all, and they sort of like Hoss sort of just like nods at you all with a weird thing of understanding, as you could presume that Vint has messaged them to say what's going on as he's standing talking to Aerith outside. And yeah, the kids run off. Some of them, the kids that have been here a while, go up and greet them straight away. Shona and Surridge don't leave Milo's side though, as he looks the most nervous out of all of them. But everyone starts like mingling and stuff. Novak's really excited to speak to the Getaway gang. And yeah.
And what does Little Oak do? I need to know.
Little Oak's standing behind you, as though it's like you were trying to get into a nightclub, and you and Vint are just standing there like... Little Oak's absolutely gigantic. He looks down at Vint, and he pulls his like bark mouth up like in a smile, and like as if to be like, can I come in? And Vint looks at you, and he's like, where have you found this? And he looks up at him like, typical.
Aerith. Vin doesn't smile when he says this. He just sounds amused.
Yeah. He's like sighing with like a dad joke.
So Aerith sighs back like two dads sighing, except Aerith is a girl. So, but she says, she turns around to Little Oak and she's like, well, I can't let you into the borders, but you may plant your roots outside Zabilner's home, the Lost, and if you'd like.
He sort of sidesteps like really largely to the left, just off the path into a clump of existing trees. And he sort of like moves his roots into the ground and pushes the trees like away, so they kind of like uproot themselves a little bit in opposite directions away from him, creating his own space. And he sort of plops himself down, but then he like cheekily leans his head like sort of into the boundaries of Sibylla's Home of the Lost, and gives you a little cheeky smile. As though he's sort of lounging over the back of a chair, you know, like leaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aerith sighs again. She's like, I guess that'll work.
Vint nods at you. I think everyone else probably just... If anyone's got anything to do here, then that's fine. But you are free to... I'm guessing Clapperclaw's been on Holland's back as well. And also you might have got off the carriage with the owlbear to go in if you wanted to, but if not, you could just do whatever. I don't know what you want to do.
I'd like to talk to the little Harengon before we go.
Alright, okay. I don't remember, they're all the same size, really. It's just... And there she is. Pick her out of the crowd. She's looking a bit like around everyone, just sort of feeling everyone out, I suppose. When she sees you approach her, she sort of like straightens up all of a sudden, and her ears are like really tall, like really pricked up.
Oh, hey, I just wanted to see if you were feeling better.
She looks up at you and she's like, yeah, thanks to you.
Well, thanks to Lyra, really. I'm just the middleman, you know.
Lyra? Who's that?
Oh, Lyra's she made Joy. She's like the creator of that.
Wow.
And she's very pretty, and she's got very long hair. And she spins around like this, and Holland does like a big elaborate twirl.
Oh, she blushes so much. She like covers her mouth a bit to hide a smile. She looks really shy.
Oh, she's really lovely. You know, if you're ever feeling a little bit sad, you can talk to Lyra.
How do I do that?
Oh, you just you think of something that makes you happy, and then you say, "Hey, Lyra, it's me, Pud. It's me, Pud, Holland's friend, and I wanna talk to you. I wanna talk about something happy."
Do I have to think about something that makes me happy or someone?
Anything at all.
Okay. Well, maybe I might think about you.
Oh, and I'll think about you next time.
She's like wiggling side to side, like really cheesily. You're like being coy.
Oh, bless her. Is Clapperclaw actually right next to us?
Clapperclaw's on your back, like he has to be.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Forgot.
Yep.
What do you think about Clapperclaw?
Huh?
Like,
oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was too busy. Well, what did you say?
what do you think about to make yourself happy?
Oh, I think about ham and other foods and cupcakes and like sweets and stuff. And I think about my prince brother here, and he scruffles your hair. And she like giggles at that. I didn't know you were a prince.
Only to some, but I mean, I'll take it.
She looks really
Are
shy
you a
again.
princess?
She looks even shyer now. No, I just make clothes.
Oh, well, you're the princess of making clothes.
She looks like she's gonna die. Like she's literally
What kind
so
of?
nervous.
Hey, it's okay. Well, what kind of clothes do you make?
I, I like to make dresses and stuff. I, I was in the textiles area, to make the
Oh,
clothes for the dolls and stuff.
I see. Well, perhaps you could make something for me.
Okay.
Only if you want to, though. Only if it's fun.
Yeah, I can do that. What what would you like?
Well, you see, I used to have this little scarf that kept my neck warm, but I lost it recently. So I was wondering if you could make me a new one.
Mhm. And I could sew a pattern onto it like that.
And she points at your necklace with her 3 stars in a triangular
Really? That would be
formation.
amazing.
She just nods and gets really like she's wringing her hands like so nervously.
Okay.
Well, I'd really appreciate that.
Well, okay.
She's just so fucking nervous.
Oh, bless her.
Thanks. I think you're really cool. And yeah.
Oh gosh, and
I
she's
think
just
you're
gonna like
cool too.
cover her own. Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, I guess I'm gonna start working on that scarf now. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it right now. And she just runs away. She just like pounds through the rest of the kids, just like fucking like trying to hide out the way. But then you can see that she sort of regrets it because she would just want to stare next to you the whole time. Yeah. And
I'll just start walking back to the car anyway.
as you're walking back to the car, Clapper calls like, ooh, ooh, ooh. What was all that about then, huh? Oh, are you a princess? Oh, hooey.
Hey, maybe she is. I
Well,
was only checking on her because she wasn't well before. I think she was poisoned.
nah. All right, okay. He just like smirks, but you can't tell.
Are you just jealous because you don't have a scarf like me?
Well, yeah, you could have got her to make me something. Like a
Well,
hat, but like
no.
looks like ham.
I could not ask her to make that.
Yeah. He clambers onto the carriage.
I think that's a Flopsy special.
When you get up to the carriage, Flopsy is kind of like looking and smiling, but trying to make it look as if he's not just looking at you. She seems friendly, doesn't she?
Yeah, her name's Pudge. She's gonna make me a scarf, not a hat. That's Clapperclaw. He wants you to make him a ham hat.
A ham hat? Look, we can try and find the ingredients for a ham hat later. She's making you a scarf, is she? That's nice.
She even said she was gonna put Lyra on it. Well, not Lyra herself, but like the symbol.
Are you making something for her in return?
Oh, I should. Oh, it can be a surprise. What should I make?
Flopsy's gonna pat Holland on the back like, "Oh, bless you," for thinking that you could just get her to make something and not give anything back. You have a lot to learn, Holland, but you've got a lot of time to do it in. I'm sure you'll think of something amazing for her. What does she like? And we'll carry on going on.
Meanwhile, Aerith, you're seeing everyone getting back on. Archie, you still riding Eladrin?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see Archie's just sort of been waiting. And you all get back on the thing. And where are you heading off to? Oh, and by the way, you notice that the owlbear's stomach seems to be growling a little bit, as he's extremely hungry.
Guys, I think we need to feed the owl bear.
Yes, did Will say what owlbears like to eat? I can't remember what he was feeding it. Him, her, them.
About like 20 pounds of raw meat a day.
Ah, lovely. Is anybody happening to carry 20 pounds of raw meat with them?
That would be highly illogical.
What sort of animal is like 20 pounds?
I suppose I would probably know this. DM, what kind of animal is 20 pounds?
First of all, can Archie make me a history check, please?
Yeah. It just so happens.
Your thoughts to swimming with, any mention of Will makes you sad, so you can't really quite remember exactly how many. But he did tell you how many pounds of meat that he needs to be fed before he gets super aggressive. He did say that in the story, you just can't quite remember because you're too sad about it. Yeah. 20 pounds. I mean,
Do cows exist in the Feywild?
Fey cow.
Yeah,
you'd
just feed 'em a
think
whole
that
cow.
that's like a fifth of a whole deer or something. Like, no, maybe like a quarter of a deer.
Do you think we could get like a deer's like leg? Do you think someone would give one up? That was a silly question. I think we might just have to go hunting.
Well,
Have
sure.
we actually left the orphanage properly?
Yeah, you're on your travels.
Oh, okay.
When you say hunting, Aerith touches her cube necklace, and now it's a spear that pops out, much like Vince.
Nice.
We said we must go hunting.
I think so. We're not carrying any meat, so we gotta get it from somewhere.
Archie, logically, you're the best hunter out of all of us. Would you like to help me?
Archie has a think for a little bit. She's just sort of like looking off into the distance. No, it's like she's processing what you're even saying for a little bit. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, why not? She gets
good.
off of Paladin.
Alright. Roll as a perception check, Archie.
Okay. Roll on that perception. Because you know I'm good at it.
Yeah.
24.
You perk up a little bit, and your keen eyes sort of scanning the forest as you're travelling along. You're not really on any paths in any, circumstances like that. You're just sort of trudging along through the grass. Through the long grass, it sort of whips against the carriage wheels. You're looking in through the trees, you sharp eyes. And you do notice, bending down, it sort of like lifts its head up and you see its antlers shining, sort of like sun shining through these antlers, silhouetted in the distance. There seems to be a sort of buck, like a young, sprightly buck.
Okay. I draw my bow. And I just look at it. And I think for a while. And I just unhook the arrow and look at Aerith. I can't do it.
Aerith, no facial expression changes come from Aerith. She doesn't say anything. She merely readies her spear and then throws it at the deer.
Mm-hmm. Give us an attack roll with that. Yeah, you've got you. How do you want to do it?
Aerith just hoists it over her shoulder. Merely says "understandable" in a flat tone, and then lets it loose. And it's a quick kill. Aerith doesn't want to make it suffer. Goes straight through the eye and pins it to the ground.
It lets out a sort of last breath as its head tilts and dies.
Aerith sighs and pulls out a knife and begins skinning it.
Mm-hmm. What's everyone doing whilst... Oh, yeah, so go on, Archie.
I was just going to say, Archie just doesn't look.
When she's done, she picks it up, like, takes some rope out of her pocket, ties the legs together, and then, like, hoists it over the back of her shoulders and drags it.
Yeah. Ugly, the owlbear, seems to be eyeing it up greedily.
Yeah, I toss it to the owlbear.
You sort of stop in the middle of the forest for a while as the owlbear sort of greedily picks at this book. It's a bit awkward for a while, as it's just chowing down. But after it's full, it sort of chirps happily. It like sort of tosses the carcass of unwanted meat to the side. And it just sort of stretches a little bit as though to be like, yep, it's satisfied. And you continue on your way. Now, you come to a point that you kind of hazily remember. You have a vague memory that if you go in some direction or the other, you might get to a fairy circle. And you also have a memory of going some direction or another and also getting to the wayward pool at this point in the forest. You also... that's the sort of two directions at this point.
So what's the most efficient route to get to... Wait, where are we going? I'm very unaware.
I think the plan is that we're going back to hither. I know the curse doesn't concern you, Aerith, but all of us kind of have a ticking clock over our heads that we should get rid of.
Then wouldn't the efficient thing be to kill this other hag?
Well, it might be something to bring to a discussion if it goes that way, but we all barely made it out alive with Scabatha. I don't think it's good to go and court death with Bavlorna.
Especially if Charm's still there.
That's a logical answer, I suppose.
I mean, if we go this way, the fairy circle could take us so much further away from where we need to be. I mean, time-wise. I say we come back to that later. Eladrin, we could leave you at the Wayward Pool if you'd be happier there.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to see Bavlorna until he's,
Then
Sounds good enough.
then I suppose he comes with us.
Flopsy's going to kind of pet Eladrin. That's understandable. He can come with us then.
Hmm.
I suppose we would go the way of the Wayward Pool, but not go into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So you have this vague idea of where you're going, and you start to walk through trees that seem a bit more unfamiliar, as you sort of attempt to bypass the Wayward Pool. You know that these twists and turns aren't always accurate, they're not always the same, but you also have this strange feeling of sort of unfamiliarity, except Holland. Holland, you start to feel like you have this strange sense of nostalgia for this area. This area that's sort of like a bit more golden in its leaf colours. And this sun starts to become a little bit stronger. And the air becomes a bit thicker and warmer. And there's this weird smell, like in the atmosphere. It smells like when you put your head on your pillow at night.
Did we come this way before?
I don't really remember seeing this layout of trees before.
It's so familiar. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of the orange leaves of the other tree, but
Well, smell is a powerful sense for memory. Maybe it smells like another patch we've walked through. Flopsy's just gonna like sniff into the air for a bit, whimsically.
Mm-hmm. You sniff into the air and you catch a strange scent of like, sort of like embers and like wood, like charred wood, and a strange other smell that's like a fragrance, sort of lingering in this hazy air. And the trees themselves start to look a bit more wilted and wilted, and a bit more depressing as you travel through. Like the colours just saturating out of them a little bit. Not saturate. What's the word? The opposite. Like fading out of them, like pale greens instead of this bright, vibrant greens. Yes, desaturated. Thank you. Pale greens, like ashy grey, bark instead of brown. As you approach what seems to be like a low, like knee-high stone wall, and you can see, and it's surrounding this very, very large tree. This tree that's got a huge, thick trunk to it, and its roots sort of hang down as if it's raised on a hill, and its roots are sort of hanging down, sort of holding the hill in its hands, if that makes sense, like in its roots. You see that this wall that surrounds it sort of overgrown with a hedge that was like seemingly like was well kept, as it's so uniform around this wall, and flowers protrude in all different colours throughout, alongside harsh branches and brambles, strange long tentacled sort of vines twirling this way and that. You're all at the bottom of this map, by the way. And you can see the main tree itself is burned, like dead. It's like twig-like, like a skeleton of a match after you've lit it, this thick trunk still sort of like twisted and like holes through it and stuff like that. It's not super like tall, but it's very chunky. And it sort of pulls up into this wide open reach in its branches. As the blackened branches twirl around, you can see strings of like flags, like bunting, hanging from it. And as you get closer, to your left you see this little garden with all these dead vegetables. And to your right, you see a swing. And like a little rocking horse, but with wheels.
Yeah, if you can do the winter Aerith things real quick, then. Yeah, thank you.
I don't understand. This. How did we? But we passed this, and I never noticed.
Noticed what, Holland? I don't think we've passed here before.
This is where I grew up. Well, until I came to the carnival.
This is your home?
Yeah, I grew up here until it burned down, and then I jumped out the window and ran and didn't stop running until I got to the carnival. I didn't think there would even be anything here anymore.
You walk close to the doorway, Holland, and you see on the side of the tree itself, carved into the bark, you can see P plus S, a little love heart, and underneath a H.
Holland rubs it, traces it with his thumb as he walks past.
And oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, just casually to Flopsy, this was the first piece of whittling I ever did, technically. They let me carve my own initial.
This was the first little spur of creativity you had?
I think so. I used to do a lot of creative stuff, so it just all kind of was all in one bundle.
I bet this place holds many marvelous memories. He kind of doesn't know how to go on and verbalize it when he looks at the state that it's left in.
And
but he also calls it the H.
As you step into the remains of your childhood home, Holland, a heavy veil of deep sadness just drapes over your heart, and sunlight filters in through the charred, twisted roots above, casting intricate patterns of warm gold on the scorched walls and carpet. And many particles of dust weave around in the disturbed air, through the light like glitter, settling against the twisted, blackened furniture. And you look up through the openings of the tree's roots and see that the sky's alive with vibrant hues. And it's this stark contrast. There's all this desolation within. And the birds outside chirp and cheep so freely. And the deep rich scent of burned wood mingles with that familiar scent of home. Holland casts quite a tall shadow, and when he takes another step in, a beam of sunlight pours over his shoulder, spotlighting a painting on the wall. a painting of him and his mum and his dad, warped and distorted.
He like takes it off the wall and just holds it in his hands. And he's crying a little bit.
Flopsy allows Holland a bit of space as he goes in before he slowly walks in himself. Still affording Holland a bit more space, he kind of looks around in this main part of the house.
Aerith understands deep within her heart the feeling that Holland is going through. And so does not intrude, but instead stands outside the door, spear ready in case of anything.
I'm gonna just take the painting over to Flopsy. Sort of meet him in the middle. This was done when I was like 2 or something, so smaller than you would have ever seen me.
I would always recognise that it's you, though. Look at the cheeky grin.
Yeah, I did look very happy.
So do the other two. Which one's P and which one's... what was the other initial scratched on the outside? S?
S. Yeah.
Which one's P and which one's S?
Well, this is my mom. She's Pip. And this is my dad. He's Scotty.
They look like happy people.
I mean, that's why I kind of found Lyra. I mean, when my mom was gone, and I heard about Lyra, what she sounded like, it sounded just like my mom. My mom was always trying to make people happy and making stuff to make people laugh or smile, and so was my dad.
I don't know much about the gods, but it makes sense that a god of joy would sound just like someone who committed themselves wholeheartedly to joy.
Yeah, I think so. Do you wanna see my room?
Flopsy smiles.
Start walking there anyway.
And you walk in and you see everything as it was, but just where you left it, but just a mess. Charred, burned books in the corner. You see your plants just completely withered away. Things have sort of fallen from the ceiling and smashed onto your little piano. You see little teddies on your burned carpet. And all your piles of shit in the corner.
I'll pick up my teddy first. Just be like, well, this was my happy.
What do you mean it was? She still looks plenty happy to me.
You're right. so easy to just be, see things as they were, not appreciate them for what they like are now, I suppose. And he holds the teddy a bit closer and sort of goes around examining his old toys and picking up like the old pots on the shelves that you would have done, like primary school style, like one's a ladybird, one's just a handprint kind of thing. Um, Kicks over accidentally the paint's on the floor, but I suppose it doesn't really matter kind of thing.
Mm.
And he reaches the broken piano in the middle. I used to be really good at this thing, you know?
You did?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as fancy as the Calliope. It only has like 7 keys, but I mean, I used to write songs.
Well, the amount of keys don't really matter. It's how you hit them. Can you remember any of the songs?
Well, I think the remains of them were here, and he just picks up like a crisped up paper that has like some semblance of notes written on it still, but it's all charred away. I guess I'll just have to write new ones.
I reckon you'll be able to write even better ones than ever before. It would have been nice to be able to see this place back in its heyday. Can you...
I think you... Sorry.
Oh, sorry, no. You said it was easy to see things the way they were. How did that look?
Well, it was always something going on. It was kind of like your house, just with less people in it. But I think we made just as much noise. My mom was she just made anything really, but I think she kind of specialized in making like rugs and curtains. But sometimes she would make paintings for people too. And so she would always be in the living room and she'd be like singing and stuff. And like, I'd be plinking on my piano. And then my dad would come in because he works out around the back. He works where he made like pots and stuff. So he'd always that's where these came from. He let me make some too, and we'd sell those. But he'd come in and be like, "Who's hungry?" And we'd all be like, "Me, me, me." And then we'd like all run in the kitchen, and we'd have like food kind of like ready, Well, I say food ready. I'm realizing now that my mom just made it while I wasn't in the room, but I thought it just like appeared there magically.
As you're saying
Yeah.
the last bit here, Flopsy's going to kind of grab your hand and start walking towards the kitchen, if Holland doesn't resist.
Yeah.
So, like, as you're narrating your memories of the place, we'll walk through them as you say them.
No.
It sounds very cozy.
It was. Everything was perhaps a little too close together in the end. He like looks over at the big fireplace over here.
When you look at the fire, you hear a noise of like that, like a strange whisper, almost sinister, but not. Something glittery.
Did you hear that? Or was that in my head?
Did I hear that?
Yeah.
I do think there's something maybe in there.
Maybe something else has made this its home. I'm gonna go have a look.
You peep into the fireplace, which you know leads through to the furnace in the the adjoining room. The furnace for the kiln and the pottery and things. And deep within the fire, you see this tiny little orange spark. It seems to be like flickering a bit bigger and a bit bigger, and emitting this strange high violin-esque screech, sort of like a softer than the screech, like a whisper. It gets a little bit bigger. You feel like it's sort of passing through your mind in some way. And out emerges this wisp. The golden light that it emits is very orange in colour. As it emerges from the fireplace, it almost looks like fire creeping out of the fireplace itself. And it sort of hovers in the threshold for a while. And
Holland.
Yep, go on.
Holland just sort of not like raises it, but like moves his shield just to be slightly in front of Flopsy, remembering Flopsy's last encounter with a wisp. Hello?
It sort of excitedly skits from like side to side, and as it does, it leaves this trail of like what looks like bright white glitter. It screeches happily.
I like your glitter. Really, it livens this place up. It's too sunny in here.
It does like a full like 360 around you all, around you both, happily dancing in the air, and it comes to settle on the fireplace, on the sort of raised bit that you'd put your pans on and things, and you see that it starts to transform and becomes a little bit more fleshed out, becomes a little bit more humanoid looking as its long sort of bare legs sort of emerge out of it, and long shoulders and arms and face and hair, black hair. Her legs are sort of crossed as she's sitting on the fireplace. And
Holland drops his shield.
She's looking at you with this huge beaming smile on her face. Kind of Cinderella-esque in nature. She's wearing this really simple dress, sort of shaggy and rough-hewn sort of edges to it, as it's sort of folded away as she's like crossed her legs on this fireplace. She sort of holds her hands together and just does like a little chirpy movement as she finally comes into full being. Her eyes sort of lock on you. And she says, "Hey."
Holland's ears like shoot up and then go flat and down flat and then like sort of go back up again. If he didn't know what to do. Hello. Hi.
She stands up, and she's quite tall. She walks on the balls of her feet, her heels sort of never touching the ground. And she comes up to you, and she looks like she's inspecting you. And she's like,
I've been waiting here for you. I wondered when you were gonna come. I hoped I'd been guiding you well.
He just the words failing him, holds out his hand, and Lotus comes out and he offers it to her, like shyly. Like he knows it's not good enough, but he hopes it is.
She leans forward like a sort of silky black hair sort of like goes in the way of her face. She just really casually pushes it back as she, around her ear as she takes it from you. And as soon as she touches your hand, she says,
Oh, I can feel that there's some pain in there, in your heart.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it wasn't there, but it makes the good times more good. Because you're like, wow, it's the opposite, and it makes you go, yay. And he like waves his arms a bit.
Well, you know better than anyone that you can't have light without the darkness, right?
Yeah. I mean, just because, like, you can't see the sun, like, now, and he, like, sort of waves his arms around him, gesturing her at the roots. I mean, it doesn't mean it's, like, not there anymore. You just gotta go outside and find it.
She sort of nods sagely. And she says,
I've always been very interested in you. Ever since you were little, I've been keeping my eye out for someone like you.
Really? I would talk to you, like, all the time, but I didn't. I mean, I knew. I didn't want to assume you'd like talk back to me if you were like busy or anything.
I always have time for you. I was always listening. It's just sometimes you gotta wait for the right time, and that's why I waited here. I just had to know for sure that
she's nodding and she's like,
yeah, your spirit, it's really special. You know, it carries this strength and this resilience and a power to bring light in the dark. And now I know. And well, I mean, you carry a shield with my symbol on it, and
I do. I've always tried to do you proud, and I'm gonna keep on doing that because everything I do, I try to do what will make people happy.
she smiles so big, like she's got the shiniest teeth ever. And she's like,
you promise?
Pinky promise to a trillion.
Okay.
She gets really excited all of a sudden and she's like,
well, this is it. This is it. You're about to make an oath to me. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. You're going to bring joy to just about everyone in the whole world. I just know it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Not even this
can I start
world.
Now?
Yeah. I let me see if I remember. It was in a song, I think.
She starts like singing this little song to herself.
Ah, I remember. I mean, of course I do. They're my tenets.
And she smiles at you. As she says,
now, here's the thing. When you make this promise, then that means you're promising me forever. And, well, I trust you anyway. Okay, so the first promise is that you have to kindle the light.
And as she says this, she raises her hands up, And what seems to be like 2 more wisps sort of emerge out of her palms, and they sort of hover around and sort of spin in the air a little bit, sort of brightening as she speaks.
Through acts of mercy and kindness and forgiveness, you need to kindle the light of hope in the world, beating back despair. And that doesn't mean you have to get rid of the darkness, like we said. You know, it's necessary. Just bring as much light as you can, okay?
I promise. I promise.
The next one is you've got to shelter it.
And she like pulls her hands together, and the wisps like surround her hands, and she cups them in a sort of like little universe within her own hands. And she says,
wherever there's anything good or beautiful or lovely or anything that brings joy and laughter in the world, you need to stand against those wicked people that would swallow it up. You know? Where there's life, you need to stand against the forces that would, you know, get rid of it.
And the lights are about to wink out, but then she widens her hands and it blooms even further. She says,
you promise? The second one?
Of course, of course. And Holland like mimics the like expanding movement, but with hands, with flowers.
The third, you've got to preserve your own light.
and she thrusts her hands forwards, and the sort of they've combined into one wisp, and it floats over towards your mace and like holds inside of it, like gets inside the cage of it, and flickers even stronger than ever before.
And that means that if you hear a song, you know you're going to be singing along to it, right? And if someone's laughing, you're going to go and join in and make them even happier. And paint things and make beautiful things, make art and songs and sing and dance for everybody. And, you know, you can't preserve the light if it dies in your own heart, so you've got to keep practicing, okay?
Yeah, I can do that.
And for the final one, you're going to have to hold your mace up to the skies.
And she looks up through the sort of tattered roots, the burned roots of your ceiling, through the little gaps.
Hold it up to the sky now.
He does.
And you gotta be the light. You gotta be a beacon of hope for all who live in despair. Let the light of your joy and your courage shine forth in everything that you do.
He looks over his shoulder at Flopsy and gives him a massive smile before turning back and saying, I promise.
And when you say, I promise, what happens to this place?
The light in the mace, as well as the light coming through the gaps in the roots, starts to brighten, and as Lyra stood there with the wisps out and the sun shining brighter and brighter, the soot seems to almost like raise in the air and fade away into nothing, and the roots begin to thicken and strengthen and just become vibrant with colour again. Even like the tree is such a rich brown. And as Archie and Aerith stood outside, they look up and see the leaves of the tree sprouting again, all different colours, all different shades of orange and yellow. And we couldn't see it yet, but in the other room, Holland's little plants had sprouted again in full bloom.
All the while, Lyra herself has been looking around, the corner of her mouth opening wide as she looks up and around at all the beautiful nature that emerges. And she looks at you and she says,
I knew it. Come on, let's dance.
And she's just gonna prance around the now fixed kitchen. and just gets down and boogies. Like, she's ballet dancing the whole way around, spinning with her hands together in the air and glitter falling off her as she surrounds you. Glitter falling in the air, landing on your noses. And as she's like laughing and there's this really natural laugh, she sort of almost bumps into you on the dance, clasps both of your hands, and she says, I've always believed in you. And starts to fade away.
Oh, Holland like wells up at that. Oh,
Bye.
And then disappears.
thank you. He just turns to Flopsy, his mouth agape. That was Lyra.
I know. That was a long time coming. It was magical.
I can't believe it. I'm a Paladin of Lyra.
It makes so much sense, doesn't it? That she's been watching you for so long.
Yeah, I did always feel like, like someone had my back. I mean, I couldn't be late to the carnival that many times without some kind of divine intervention. I couldn't have been all of this, all of what I am like today without you, though. I think you may have been part of that divine intervention looking out for me.
Just before you started that sentence, Flopsy would have been walking to look in the furnace. He doesn't turn around, so you don't see the tear in his eye. I wouldn't have been able to do any of it if it wasn't for you. And for you, I'll speak into the furnace even though she's already gone. Thank you. He's going to try and whisper this, but like Holland will probably just be able to hear him anyway. I can't always be there to help, and I'm glad you're there for him when I can't be. And I'll turn back to Holland.
As long as you're here now. And he gives him a big hug.
You know, you've always brought that spark with you. Even when I first met you and you were, about this tall, he over-exaggerates how short you were. There was still that sparkle in your eye, the cheeky little high note to your laugh. You've always brought it with you. I suppose now you've just got... He's going to hold on to your mace. Suppose you've got more light in this now. More light through this. Taps your shield. More throughout these. He's going to grab hold of your ears. You've always had it, but names are important. And now you can officially say you're one of Lyra's crew now.
Oh, I'm gonna do so much like happy stuff. I'm gonna be so joyful, you won't even believe it. He's like getting giddy now.
Well, what's the first thing that you're going to do? I'm in need of a hearty laugh. He's going to kind of pace around the kitchen. And I don't know who could possibly provide that for me.
Holland's gonna run over, start. He's still being like so energetic from everything. He's hyper. He's gonna start dancing around, twirling around Flopsy, and just start playing on the pan flute. But just tooting randomly because he doesn't really know any songs yet. Because
And
he spins around Flopsy.
Archie and Aerith, you can hear this sudden like laughing and panpipe tooting going on inside.
Flopsy's going to walk towards the entrance of the kitchen. Oh, so you're declaring a song and dance time, are you? Well, I'm stubborn. I shan't be singing, nor dancing, nor frivolicking. And I'm going to call out to Archie and Aerith. Holland is trying to start a song and dance, but we shan't be swept up in it, shall we?
Why is he singing and dancing?
Because everything is wonderful. Everything, like hippie. Like imagine us all being stood here. Isn't that great?
Flopsy's trying to hold out to like pump up your like working up the joy, but his foot's already tapping.
Why you looked incredibly sad 2 moments ago. What could have happened to put you in such a positive mood?
I just met Lyra. I'm a paladin now.
What?
Lyra, she was in my kitchen.
As you say that, you see Winter Aerith, her expression actually changes for once into a look of incredulity. And as that happens, the snowflakes melt away and the shade of green comes back into her hair. Like it turns into a big wide grin as if you want to fix that, Jenna, as Spring Aerith pops into existence. And she instantly, before you can get away, she scoops you up and, like, with the biggest laugh, starts spinning you around and dancing with you. And she's like, "Oh my god, that's so good! Yay! I'm so happy for you, Holland. Ooh, we have to celebrate. Ooh, let me go you on the swing outside. Come on, now, let's go.
What's going on? Did you find some ham in there?
Oh my god, Clapper Claw!" And she drops Holland and grabs Clapper Claw and
Ah!
starts swinging her around. Yes, oh my god, it's such a good day. Holland's a full-fledged paladin now.
Really? Whoa! Oh, that's crazy! Whoa! He's getting carried all the way down here.
As we go past the door, I'm going to stop with Archie.
Yeah, before Aerith brings Clapper Claw over, Aerith does run back in and she's like, "Archie, I know you're upset and that's completely understandable, but Holland's a paladin. We need to be, happy."
Yeah, Archie has a smile, and it seems like it's sort of a genuine smile, but you can tell that it's it's kind of like in the midst of grief. It's like a "yay, I'm happy for you" sort of smile. Yeah.
Aerith notices this. She's gonna go over to a table and find is there any markers or anything around?
Any what?
Like a marker.
Oh,
or something to.
There's pots of paint and stuff.
Yeah, she takes the black paint and you don't see. She moves around in it for a second, and then she turns around with a full black mustache, curly mustache painted onto her face, and then goes over to Archie. And she's like, "Excuse me, may I please have your hand in holy dance, Archie?"
Fucking took my bit.
Sure. Archie puts her hand down. I guess it's in sort of a okay. I'll not drag the mood down or anything sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Aerith grabs your hand and she "Flopsy, Holland, can you, how do they say, hit it?"
Holland's just going to dip outside really quick because he's not spoke to Claw yet.
Haha, what's going on? Everyone's dancing.
Well, you're not gonna believe it. Well, I was in there and I was all sad and I couldn't believe it, but because this is where my parents died, and I was like, oh no, and I was just being all, like, oh, and then we would go into the kitchen, and then in my fireplace is Lyra, goddess of joy, and she's like, Holland, I know what you're capable of, and I want you to swear an oath to me. And I was like, oh my God, really? This is so exciting, and I did.
Oh
And now
my
I'm a
god,
paladin.
that's amazing! Oh wow, so you're like a knight or something? Like you're a god? She was in your kitchen? That's crazy.
And he's like just saying all the same speed as you. um,
I'm like Sir Prince Paladin Holland now.
Sir? Do I have to call you Sir? Sir Holland. Hey, Sir Holland, can I go on your swing?
Absolutely, you can.
I need a paladin of Lyra to push me, though.
Well, what else are we for? That's what I swore my oath to. I said, I swear that I'll always push Clapperclaw on the swing.
he plumps his ass down.
Alright, I want to go as high as the clouds.
Meanwhile,
As they do that, Aerith is hopefully Flopsy has provided a tune.
Flopsy doesn't have any instruments at the minute, but he's going to try and whistle a tune and thump his foot, like percussion.
Yeah, and Aerith's gonna fully take that in tow and start twirling Archie around like she's a pretty princess, and like lead the dance outside and towards the others.
Yeah, Archie's like basically half-assing this dance. Like she's providing just enough effort that like you can say, oh, she's doing it, but like she just doesn't feel like doing it.
Can Flopsy try and dance in between, almost kind of like taking Archie into his dance? It's kind of like steal your partner, but it's like trading partners rather than stealing.
Trade it for this invisible partner.
Aerith absolutely hands over Archie. She's just so happy that she runs over to Holland and she's like, "Ooh, are you pushing Clapperclaw?"
Yeah, if you both push me at the same time, you might even shoot me into the outer space.
Yeah, with an 18th strength, Aerith fully shoves Clapperclaw on that swing.
He's like goes spinning around the entire thing. Like wow.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Clapperclaw. That might have been a little too rough.
That was fun. I like that. Oh wow, my head's a bit dizzy now.
Oh, let me get you untangled from there. And she's now and starts to like try to untangle Clapperclaw from the swing set.
He gets out and then he's like dusts himself and he's like, ah, what's this? And he's gonna go over and he's like, were these your toys, Holland?
They sure were.
He just jumps onto the horse.
Hey, get off my toys.
Sorry.
This one, I think, would be better in the hands of someone else. He's going to pick it up and bring it over to Archie.
Alright, nice. Archie. Yep.
I know you're in the middle of the dance.
You see this? You see Holland approaching you with a horse with like wheels, like a little wooden horse.
I know you're like busy and stuff right now, but like, I used to play with this all the time. He's called Funky, and he's kind of like the horse you got at Scabatha's, but I mean we can't keep that forever, can we? Because it's secretly a unicorn. You know what I mean? So, if you want, you could have this now.
She looks at the horse, and she just crouches down to like meet its eyes. How tall is it? Or is it like a little tiny toy?
It's a child's size horse.
Like a rocking horse.
Yeah, like
It's one with wheels that you can pull along.
But I meant in terms of like sizing. Yeah. And she's gonna give it a little pat. And you said his name is Funky?
Yeah.
You sure do be looking kind of funky, though.
Well, you can give a bath.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I suppose now is probably as good a time as any to give you this back. And I hand Holland his scarf.
Oh, thank you, but Pud's making me a new one. If you wanted to keep it, you could have it. You do suit it. It goes well with the green.
Really?
Yeah.
And it'd be alright, even though it's like your color.
Yeah, we can share the color. I mean, if everyone could only wear one color, then Flopsy's hogging all the colors.
Yeah, Flopsy, save some for the rest of us.
Never.
Hey, Archie. Hey, Archie.
Yeah.
As she gets real close in your face, we're matching. And then hides behind Holland.
Oh, yeah, I suppose we're both wearing green. Holland. Hey, Holland. I'll get really close to Holland's face.
Hey.
And I put the scarf on. We're matching. Well, I mean, not anymore, because you're not wearing it. But, I guess if you were, we'd be matching.
We will be matching at some point in the future.
I kind of match your mace.
Yeah. We could swap weapons.
Oh yeah, I'll start shooting your mace, and you start hitting people with my bow.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was funny. Clapperclaw. Hey, Clapperclaw.
Yeah?
Well, I'm gonna go find like a pig, and we're gonna get you some ham, because ham is awesome.
All right.
Yeah, can I have a hug?
Yeah.
And he's gonna give you a really tight hug.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he looks straight at Holland and is like, I like Aerith. Can't she stay with us forever as like our sister?
Yeah, why not? Princess Aerith, sister of Prince Sir Paladin Holland and His Royal Highness Clapperclaw.
Uh-huh. And King Flopsy and Queen Archie.
No, but we're not married.
It's just a coincidence.
Does that mean we're a brother and sister now, Holland?
I think so.
Oh, well, I'm the older sister, so, in terms of, like, family arcle type of things, that means that, I have to tell you how to speak to the ladies.
I don't know if that's necessary. I mean, I'm a little busy, like with the saving the carnival and everything. Archie's also dating ladies. You could talk to her.
You're dating ladies?
Nobody right now.
Aerith smiles a little bit wider. Interesting. Anyways, this is fantastic news. Oh my gosh. Why I'm so happy, I even feel like giving Bavlorna a hug. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, for a minute I lived in a world where the hags didn't exist.
Yeah, but then it all comes back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, I mean, maybe, but I like to think that even in the darkness, there's always light to make it feel a little bit better. And if you keep yourself stuck in the darkness for too long, well, then you'll never feel joy.
Yeah, but when it's night, you gotta sit in the shadows.
Or look at the moonlight.
Well, I think we need to go get you guys get that weight lifted off your shoulders. What do you guys think? Do you think do you think maybe that's a good idea? Huh? Well, do you? Do you guys?
Yeah, just give me a second. I want to say goodbye, I guess.
Absolutely.
No one's just kind of going to go walking around the garden.
Did Holland take Happy?
No, because I have my hands free in the kitchen, so I would have put them both down.
Flopsy goes back into the house and gets Happy and puts him in his bag.
Mm-hmm.
What you got there, Flopsy? No, it's in your bag. I wouldn't know. No, ignore that.
I mean, it did go in and out again, but...
Nah,
Yeah.
Archie's not there. Completely forgot what Archie was.
Hey, Flopsy, what'd you go back in for? What'd you grab something interesting?
I just wanted to see a piece of Holland that I couldn't have seen before.
A piece of Holland? Wow. I mean, that's slightly concerning. Isn't Holland supposed to be whole? Why do you have a piece of him?
I mean, like, Holland's past. A piece of him inside, not... I don't mean like his organs or anything like that. No.
Yeah, that... I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like a memory.
Absolutely.
Exactly. This whole place is just Holland's memories, and it's strange to be able to finally see them.
Almost like you're his real dad now, huh?
I would never be able to be that, no.
No, I disagree. I think you're a wonderful person, Flopsy, and I think that Holland is lucky to have you, and you're lucky to have Holland. Just like I'm lucky to have all of you.
Oh no, I don't doubt that at all, no, but I've seen his mum and dad now, and I wouldn't want to be either of those. I'm happy to be there any way that I can.
You're still my dad, though, right?
Do you have a painting of your dad for me to see?
I don't even remember if I even have any parents.
Oh, well, yes, I was just going to go up to Clapperclaw and pat him on the shoulder. I'm still your dad, Clapperclaw.
Yeah!
Does that, since you're the king and I'm the princess, does that mean, and she again gets really close to your face with a big old smile, does that mean you're my dad?
Flopsy peers around Aerith to see if Archie's going to be the next one to ask the question.
Archie looks distant and aloof.
Oh, even better. And then she goes around Archie's shoulders and peers out from behind his back. Does that mean since you're the queen and I'm the princess that you're my mother, Archie? Does it? Do you think that's what that means?
What?
Yes, no? Yes, no?
I don't, I don't know how to answer that question. I'd probably not, because I don't like, that thing from those people.
Ah, well, okay, Archie. I mean, Flopsy, are you still my dad at least?
I suppose, in a manner of speaking, possibly, maybe. I wonder how long Holland's going to be in there.
As you're saying this, Aerith legitimately starts like full on laughing on the floor, and she's like, "You guys should have seen your faces. I know you're not my actual dad. He's silly."
Well, that's a relief.
Holland, you emerge to Aerith, absolutely pissing herself, slapping her legs.
I picked up the portrait. That's the thing I've kept.
Okay. Have you already put it in the bag of holding? Or are you walking out with it? Alright, okay. Alright.
Well, I'm ready to go.
Yay! And then Aerith runs like 3 circles around you and then comes back to her original spot.
Alright. So you all clamber back up onto Ooglay's cart and make your way on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
As you sort of leave, Holland, is there anything that you wanted to do before you go? Do you wave goodbye to your little house? As it stands a lot taller now, a bit less wilted, and vibrant in its colours.
Yeah, he's like the last one out the gate, so he's just gonna close it and pat it and take it in one last time. So like, well, I probably won't be back for a while, but I know you'll still be with me, so feels like saying bye isn't right. See you soon. Then he'll turn and go.
Nice.
Clapperclaw, stop trying to eat Oink. He's back at the orphanage.
As you're travelling along, you're making your way sort of south-ish. And you do come across a fairy circle. It's the...
Oh, I wonder what it is.
Yeah. You hear it before you see it. You can just hear... It's almost like you're about to like drive through it. And you do hear it. And you recognise it. You've been here before. And you hear it singing. Come, my love, let's have some tea. Far above the astral sea.
Astral sea.
Sort of passing through.
So they all sing one syllable?
They all sing one word each, yeah.
That means that there's a campestry out there saying ass.
No, they sing one word, sorry, I meant.
No.
Yeah.
No, the capacity, because one of them sings Isolde.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's got 3.
That's unfortunate. Why'd you have to ruin the vision?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're all singing a word each. Some of them aren't singing at all, they're just dancing, so not every single one of them is saying a word.
Aerith is immediately going to go and dance with the Campestries.
Oh, okay. You're dancing with them, right. Okay. Give me a second. Yeah, Aerith just jumps down off the cart and starts rocking out with these Campestries.
Like a performance check.
Yes, please.
She's not very good at it, but she's having a great time.
Okay.
Archie does a dance, but it's purely out of pragmatism.
As you're dancing around, Aerith, they're all sort of going at it really hard, like really going for it, bobbing along with you. And you see behind Archie this ghostly horse.
And she's gonna run and tackle the horse, and then not thinking about the fact that it's a legitimate ghost, and go flying through it.
And when you do, you sort of sit up and look around, and you see like sort of small little spirits of the Feywild around you, just like tiny little, many things, just like little fairy ghosts and other things that are nearby. And you also see the ground sort of very strangely shimmering within the circle.
I can't move my token, by the way.
Ah, shit, sorry. Just pop her on.
Yeah, Aerith's going to move into the circle, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we did last time, right? We danced with the cute little mushrooms, and then the circle went boosh, and we all went floosh.
Yeah, and if you want to like use it, you got to say 3 spins, Wittershins, and here we go.
3 spins, Wittershins, and here we go.
As soon as you say that, Archie, all of a sudden the grass starts to like swirl under your feet, like in a big spiral shape, and the center of it sort of plunges down into the ground.
Oh no!
It's like swirling like water escaping down like a plug hole, and like it's like the grass is moving like water, but it still retains its individual blades as it moves. And it's like humming from its center. Archie, you're like, and Aerith, you're both in the center of it. I'm just gonna change your nameplate so it's not autumn, because yeah. Yeah, like you're sort of swirling around and like falling into the center of it, like wah! Flopsy, Clopperclaw, and Holland can just see these two just swirling down this bloody plug hole. Yeah. they're like disappearing into the ground. Like their legs are going in.
Before I do that, completely because Aerith would think it's funny, can I use my telekinetic movement to yank Flopsy into the hole with me?
Before you do, Flopsy's going to stand up on the car and shout both of your names as if concerned for you both, and kind of look to Holland like, what do we do?
I pulled him out. I get what Flopsy?
Do I contest this, or do I just fall
your shirt is pulled forwards because with the telekinesis you can only move certain amounts of things. It pulls as though someone's like beckoning you to come with you, but it wouldn't move your whole body.
Flopsy kind of teeters a little bit forward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could try and pull them out, or jump in after them.
And as you say, we could try and pull them out. Archie and Aerith just zip into the middle and disappear.
Well, there goes plan A.
Mm-hmm. It's still swirling.
Do you think they'll come back out?
There's no way of telling when they'll come back out. We still have the portraits if we go to Bavlorna and cancel the curse and come back for them, but who's to say when that could be, or where they would be by then? There's only one way to stay together.
But
sorry, what were you saying?
if we all go in and it ends up being like a month, I don't know. I think we should save them.
You think we should jump in?
No.
Alright, you two stand and watch as the swirling grass swirls and swirls and swirls, and it comes to a stop. Sort of mud and grass sort of like creaking into position, like, and the grass stops and sways. And the Campestries are still sort of having a great time, dancing and having fun. And meanwhile, Aerith and Archie tumble through time and space itself. There's this purple, blue, yellow swirls all around you as she's sort of flying through what seems to be the Astral Sea. You emerge onto the bottom left corner where the mushroom circle is, the Campestry circle. And let's see here. Scoobity-bop. Doop-dup. Doop. There we go. You emerge there. And all around you, you look up to the sky. You look to the side. You look off the edge of this platform that you're on. And there's just nothing for miles and miles around. It's blackness. But also, beyond the blackness, this deep sort of purple haze. These galaxies swimming by. These, like, right deeply underneath you, as though you're staring into the ocean. You see this huge whale just pass by underneath you. There's a strange scent of, like, violets in the air. You don't feel like there is any air, though. It feels like it's quite stilted. There's a very warm scent of violets.
Would there be any way Aerith would be able to determine what this is? Like, she's primarily from the faith.
Mm-hmm.
It's the what?
We know that it's the Astral Sea because that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the Astral Sea. Oh. Yeah, Aerith's gonna, like, look over the edge and be like, whoa, that's really cool.
Mm.
Archie, where are we? Oh, wait, I know where we are. We're in the Astral Sea, right?
That's what the Campestry said.
In front of you see this bridge that leads to sort of higher up platform, floating island with this sort of candy floss trees. And you see this cottage. It looks extremely homely. A little bit sort of German expressionism, like built on its side a little bit, like some walls are taller than the others. The roof is a little bit lopsided, but it looks incredibly comfortable and almost exaggerated in its features in some sort of like cartoonish way. It feels like a Toontown house in Disneyland. Like everything's padded and large, but you can tell if you touched it, it'd still be like made of wood. It just looks very soft, inviting, comfortable, warm.
Aerith's gonna try to eat the trees.
You reach your hand out to the tree and pull down some of its leaves, and as you do, it comes apart like web, and you see that it is candy floss. And when you taste it, it tastes like sweet violets.
She's gonna grab a bunch of that and put it in her sack.
Mm-hmm.
And like she's gonna put a whole pound of candy floss in her.
It kind of smells like grandmas around here, but like not nasty grandmas, like nice grandmas.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of Nana.
Yeah, you said that name before. Who is that?
Aerith looks around for a second. Even in spring form, she looks a bit hesitant, and she's like, "Can I tell you a secret, Flopsy? Sorry, Flopsy's not here. Archie."
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty good at keeping them.
I wasn't always an Eladrin.
Oh?
Yeah. When I was younger, I was clockwork. I was like
Clockwork?
Yeah. My Nana built me.
Really?
Yeah. And she's like really happy that you're not like looking at her like she's a freak. And Zybilna granted me life because Nana wanted me and Nana both wanted me to be real, and Zybilna heard that call and answered it.
Yeah, she's so nice, isn't she?
That's why she's my patron. I absolutely adore her.
Well, you know, I won't give you the full story, like the long, boring version of it, but I used to not be able to talk as a kid. And then Zabona made it so that I could.
But yeah, Nana was the person who brought me into this world. She, for all intents and purposes, is my mother.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not your mother.
Yeah. She pets
Anyway,
you, kisses your forehead.
Mhm.
You're cute, but you're not my mom.
well, that's probably like moves away from the forehead kiss.
Very nice.
But he says, "Well, let's knock on this door." Knock, knock, knock.
As soon as you knock on the door, it sort of like creaks open very warmly, like very invitingly. It almost sighs with like as though you're taking your shoes off at the end of the day, and reveals this extremely comfortable living room with this what looks to be what looks to be like an illusory fire, like this sort of magically lit fire that's bringing this warmth. The sort of smell of sweet things is stronger here. And you see it's very nicely decorated, very cozy with like sort of flickering candles everywhere. There's a smell of cooking meats and food coming from the kitchen from this door here. You can also just get this sense of like steamy, sort of very rich incense in the air, just this very comfortable feeling, and it's quite a romantic atmosphere.
Aerith feels that. And she's like pulling at her collar and she's like, is it hot in here or is it just me? Or you? Me.
I think it's like quite a nice gentle temperature, like a very cozy, warm sort of feeling.
Oh yeah, it must be just me then.
Oh, maybe if you like took your jacket off or something.
Yeah. She takes her jacket off, and is there like a table nearby that she can put it on?
Oh yeah, there's a settee right in front of you. It's like really comfortable looking couch with a bear rug underneath it.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, all right, yeah, hangs it up, and then yanks Archie on the couch with her, like, let's have a seat.
Really? This might be someone's house. Are you sure we can just like break in and get all comfortable? She says, breaking in and getting all comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue.
Well, I suppose we are guests. So that's like the rule of hospitality, isn't it? Do they even have that rule here? This
Who
is the
knows?
Astral Sea. I hope they don't have a rule of like, don't break in and sit on the couch.
The door slowly closes behind you, clicks nicely, and this strange piano sound starts to fill the air. Exactly like what you're hearing now. This very waltzy Russian style. Not that you know what Russian is, but you know what I mean. That kind of lilt to it.
Wow, there's this like, can you hear that? The music's it's all like waltzy and like I don't know what this word means, but I just feel compelled to say like a Russian style, like all lilted in that.
You know what I think, Archie?
No, because I'm not a mind reader. Go on, tell me.
I think that I owe you an actual dance away from everybody else.
I don't know. I'm not like the best dancer. I only dance like with the Campestries because it's like a survival tactic.
Oh, that's okay. I'll lead. And she holds out a hand and gives you a wide, warm smile.
Hmm.
Okay. And she like stands up and like takes your hand, I guess.
Yeah. And she's like, well, you do this is so have you ever slow danced before?
Slow danced? No, I normally just like bob up and down. Kind of like the Campestries do. Kind of like a 2-year-old.
Oh. All right. Well, She puts one hand around your waist and pulls you in. And you take your hand and she puts it on her shoulder. And then grabs your other hand in hers. Like this. And then she starts softly moving you around in a very slow circle to the tune of the music.
Archie's like going along, dancing with it. And she's like, smiles for a little bit, and then just frowns and says, "Oh, it's like a ballroom dance. I don't want to do it." And then like sort of moves away.
Why?
Because I don't like ballrooms. And I don't like big frilly dresses and like ridiculous fancy wigs.
Oh. That's not what ballroom dancing is all about, Archie. It's when you care about somebody. Well, some people do it just for, plays and stuff, but like a lot of times these kinds of dances are for, when the fireplace is lit and the bear rug underneath the couch is soft. The moose antlers are hanging in just the right angle on the ceiling, and there's two people, and you feel a connection. And she steps up to get right up next to you, in your face.
I mean, that sounds also specific. Like there's rules to it.
No, I was just providing examples.
Oh, it's kind of like this room.
Aerith gives a very coy smile. She's like, yeah. And it's almost like we're the two people with a connection.
What do you mean?
I admire you, Archie. Even in the face of danger, you always keep it cool and collected. And, it's... Watching children all the time, I don't really have the chance to get to know somebody as well as I've gotten to know you.
Thank you. And Archie, like, very sort of awkwardly not knowing what to do with the hands, pats you on the head, and then sort of, like, rubs the back of the head like, God, what am I doing?
Aerith pulls you in by the waist again. If the fates had allowed it any other way, I wish you would have taken your love, Archie.
Well, why?
Aerith looks around for a moment, and then her face, her cheeks blush a vibrant shade of green. And she's like,
sick?
no, it's fine. There's no, and she starts like running around the room and straightening things. And she's like, there's no actual reason,
When you're running around the room, you're sort of like touching things like this little fucking plant and stuff, and like you look at this little chest and it's just got like little like jewelry in it and stuff like that. You get to the bookcase and you sort of start straightening them all out really awkwardly. You see that some of the titles are like How to Live a Good Life and The Book of Joy and things like that.
I'm gonna snag that one, thinking about Holland.
The Book of Joy. Yeah. And when you get to about here, you can sort of hear a hissing sound coming from the door. and when you get to about here, you can also see that on the table, things seem to be like moving on their own, like as if the very, very slowly and lazily the cutlery's all taking its place on the table as though to set itself up for a meal and stuff. But yeah, you hear that strange hissing and bubbling coming from this door.
Aerith goes in.
Where are you going?
Just a moment, I gotta check something out. You stay right there.
Do you stay there, Archie?
Archie like kind of awkwarded out by this entire situation.
Mm-hmm.
Actually goes the other way. She's being left in a room on her own after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's just gonna wait at the fairy circle.
Okay. So Aerith, you walk into the room and you see this is a room that's very, very comfortable. One of the beds is like incredibly well made and like untouched, and the other one's sort of like hastily tucked in, so like this one looks like it's actually had some sort of use. And you see on the side there's like over here there's a kettle, like a pot of tea brewing, alongside some little teacups and saucers and like jars of sugar and honey and like different types of tea all in different glass containers over on this desk.
Aerith grabs them. She like puts the kettle in one hand and then balances the teacups on the other.
Oh, it's literally like currently boiling right now. Like you get, you get over there anyway. You see that this kettle's boiling, and on the surface of the table, the desk, you can see sort of like what looks to be like blueprints or like rolled out plans. It's sort of like in a figure of 8 shape to it. And you see like dotted along the figure of 8, you could see a little carousel with like hastily drawn unicorns on the carousel. You can see sort of what looks to be like a ladder, but then it sort of twists and turns, and you realise that it's a little roller coaster with a sort of mountain drawn like above it. You can see a big tent that's coloured in red.
Oh my god.
And in the middle you see like a little teapot. And the bubbles sort of rise out of the actual page itself and join the steam of the tea. As it finishes its boil, the teapot itself rises and just pours itself a small cup next to it. Beside the plans, you see a small sort of scrap of paper and a little, what's the word, quill next to it. And it reads, Zybilna, as you lie there, I can't help but feel that I simply can't believe you're real. Your beauty and goodness makes me so happy. Ellipses. I'm really bad at this. And in the corner, in gorgeous cursive, you read, You are good, my love. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
What?
Say what?
Wow.
Alright. Well.
Hashtag awkward love, y'all.
Right. Bloody Nora. Right, well, that's that. So, geez Louise. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Hope you all had a good time.
Thanks for being here, Nat Wannabes.
Thanks for being here, Nat
Thanks,
Wannabes.
Nat Wannabes. And hey,
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
No, shush, that's my thing.
Fine, whatever. Oh, that's fine. Well, I'll steal your thing. I'm Jason, and I'm stinky.
So, anyway. Yeah, right. So, we'll see y'all next week. Yeah, bloody Nora. Aerith and Arches fell down a bloody portal. Well, yeah. Fairy ring.
The Easter egg.
The what? Oh, the Easter egg. The Easter egg.
Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm stinky. It's the Easter egg.
Alright. Right. See you later, everybody.
Arrivedercis.
Bye.